Traveling the Vortex. Side Trip.
So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody's having fun. Look to the future now, it's only just begun.
We've joined the Doctor as he travels the Vortex and landed in the toy box known as Side Trip number 18. I'm Keith.
I'm Sean.
I'm Glenn.
Well, it's Christmas time, and this is a very special side trip just for Christmas for you.
We should say Merry
Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
I thought for a minute you were going to go, it's Groundhog Day. Again. just stuck in my head.
So we thought for this Christmas special, we would do a brief review of the 2015 Titan Comics special, Relative Dimensions. What do you guys think of the comic?
It was fun. It was a nice surprise that Titan, first of all, dropped this story. It was something that I think was a little off of our radar until Titan announced it and gave us a heads up and graciously gave us a preview copy, which I think this is already out right by the time you hear this issue will be on the newsstands and
it'll have been on the newsstands for nearly 2 weeks by the time you hear this.
So first of all, it was a nice surprise that they did a Christmas special. That's quite fun that they're able to do something like that in the same way that the TV series has a Christmas special. So does the comic now. So overall, I think it's quite enjoyable.
It is in Christmas special fashion. It's a fun romp.
It is. It really is. The setup of it, I wondered where they were. Actually, the entire comic makes me wonder, where are you going with this? Because when the Doctor, and it's the 12th Doctor and Clara, when they show up at this Christmas party that they've been invited to, and we start to see a lot of familiar faces. And I thought, wow, it's really interesting that we went there. We've got Susan there. We've got
Amy and Rory.
Donna, Captain Jack, I think.
Sarah Jane.
Right? The Brigadier.
I thought this was Stephen.
Oh, I bet it is Stephen. Yeah.
I'm not sure who these two are supposed to be in the very background. Redhead and brunette.
I'm not sure either on those. But yeah, that's definitely Stephen there. So,
and K9.
So, we had all these former companions show up, and they're all at this Christmas party for the Doctor, and I thought, this is kind of weird that this is how we're bringing Susan back into the fold. This is kind of strange, and it didn't take too many panels to figure out, oh, wait.
Not long at all.
No, not long at all. We've got nutcrackers.
They all turn
Everybody
into
turns into a nutcracker.
This is kind of a neat little
thing. And very Christmassy.
Yeah.
So, my initial thought was I was very angry that somebody had stolen my short story.
Really?
Well, because it's the Christmas episode, and all the previous companions come back, and there's going to be a big Festivus. And I went, I wrote that. That was an episode of
that's
Doctor,
right.
Doctor Who.
I forgot that short story.
Oh, yeah, right.
I don't remember the name of the series now. Oh, I'm so horrible.
The continuing adventures into the 13th generation.
Yeah. Reincarnated.
Yes. Doctor Who Reincarnated.
And I thought, they stole my idea. And then the Nutcracker showed up, and I went, oh, never mind. This is different.
Then you were fine with it, right?
Then I was fine with
it.
What have you got in store for me now?
And I think you're right on the nose there, Glenn, that it keeps taking twists and turns. You never know where it's going to go and what it's going to do. Because after they get past the Nutcrackers, then you get the really, I think, cool sequence with all the postcards and Christmas cards where they're jumping through different category or different cards, so you're in different atmospheres and environments to create a sense of peril.
It takes several very Christmassy themes, going from the Nutcrackers to the different Christmas cards, onto the whole. And the next was the Krampus, right?
Yeah,
Krampus.
I think it's hilarious that the year.
I love the
design,
the illustration of Krampus.
The art in the entire story, I think, is really well done, despite not knowing who the two in the background were supposed to be.
Yeah. If people don't know the Krampus story, it's a middle European part of Christmas. I think it's specific to some of the Germanic countries and some of the Scandinavian countries. And Krampus is this kind of demon that actually it goes hand in hand with Santa Claus. Santa Claus or St. Nicholas or Father Christmas is the entity that rewards children that are good for being good throughout the year. Unfortunately for the kids that have been bad throughout the year, they get to see Krampus, who is this extremely
kidnaps them and eats them pretty much.
Well, some have him eating him. Some of them have him the Krampus whips them with a bundle of switches. In some incarnations of the story, Krampus delivers coal to those kids. But anyway, in any incarnation, he's a very scary. You don't want to meet Krampus, so you better be good all year.
Which and listeners might be familiar because of the movie that came out not that long ago.
Right. In fact, just this month, I think it was.
Yeah, it was this month. And Supernatural actually did an episode with Krampus also, which was how I first found out about him.
So yeah, very, very Christmassy themes throughout. To be quite honest with you, I sort of you guys have not seen the reconstruction of the Celestial Toymaker?
No, I have not.
I at one point, and I can't remember exactly where it was. I think it maybe when they're running through the candy stuff here, and then they go into the
board games.
Yeah, which is, by the way, we talked in a previous show about snakes and ladders. Snakes and ladders. I started to suspect who was behind this because I have seen the Celestial Toymaker, where the first Doctor, Stephen and Dodo, end up encountering the Celestial Toymaker for the first time in that one. And in fact, there's an Eighth Doctor story, and I think it might be called Endgame, where the Eighth Doctor meets with the Celestial Toymaker as well. And it's a really, really well done. It was done in the pages of Doctor Who magazine. But so I had sort of suspected that the Toymaker was going to show up. And quite frankly, I was quite pleased when he did.
Yeah,
because
so was
I was
I.
like,
even not knowing the history of him.
Yeah, it was such a neat, and the way that he arrives in the biplane, I thought was kind of a neat.
The toy biplane. And
yeah. So.
The return of the recorder to get rid of the snakes was a nice little touch too.
And I love that we have a very North by Northwest scene with the Doctor looking towards the camera and the biplane over his shoulder, and I thought that was kind of cool. And we even get a flash when we kind of let the reader in that may not be familiar with the Celestial Toymaker. We do get a little panel here with a shot of the First Doctor.
Who looks like they almost pulled it straight out of Legacy.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Oh,
it does, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it looks like
does.
that initial picture we got of him.
It does have the kind of that look. And we got some eyebrow close-ups of the Doctor. Anyway, they engage in this brief little war that brings the
mental battle
that brings the Toymaker down, and they go back and forth. I love that the cards, when they're dueling with these cards, and the Celestial Toymaker has kind of encapsulated them in a prison of playing cards, which is reminiscent of the original story as well, because there are playing card motifs in that. But I like how the Doctor has changed the images on the cards to go back to images from his past. So we get the 11th Doctor, Captain Jack. That's where I'm thinking of. Yeah. I saw Captain Jack. This appears to be Clara from
Victorian Clara.
Yeah, Victorian Clara, and then the 10th Doctor. And it's interesting that they kind of play into their the cards that they would necessarily be. Maybe the King, the Jack, the Queen.
The Jack is the Jack, which is nice.
Exactly. So I thought that was kind of cool. But they end up lining up head-to-head with a battle. And if you'll notice...
the battle was really cool.
On the Celestial Toymaker's side, we have... I'm on the Doctor's side. On the Doctor's side, we have one of the robots, one of the Vox robots from Robots of Death. We have a Auton from... Terror of the Autons, the big-headed ones from Terror of the Auton. We have Bessie in the background, who's getting ready to go to war, and
Clara's riding like a boat.
And Kettlewell's robot, on the Doctor and Clara's side. And then over on the Celestial Toymaker's side, we have some more of the toy fair. We have this evil-looking Jack in the Box, the fire-breathing dragon. Yeah, the evil-looking Jack in the Box has a clown head, very scary. A giant robot, wind-up robot, which reminded me of the short film that we did, Match Me If You Can, where you have the robot that comes and looks at the window. We're the only people that know what we're talking about here. But and interestingly enough,
the
little dolls from the dollhouse in the
Night
story
Terrors.
with the little boy with Night Terrors. Which I thought was kind of cool.
Specifically, the soldier doll and what looks like the kind of girl
became Amy's look. In that story as well. So
is the rocking horse unicorn maybe the unicorn from the Mind Robber.
Oh, could
Maybe,
be.
yeah.
Could be.
I also
Didn't
wondered if
even
the
notice
dragon was actually the Jabberwocky.
Maybe so. Yeah.
That would though be the master from the Mind Robber.
Yeah. Oh, so I said earlier that I had, kind of suspected it was a toy maker, but honestly, the first thing I thought was that it was in the story, the Land of Stories.
No, Land of Fiction.
Land of Fiction, yes,
Yeah.
thank you. And thinking that might be where they were initially, but as it kind of played out and it was kind of more of a toy motif, then that's when I went to the Celestials.
Yeah.
This might be the Celestial toy maker that we're
But
seeing here.
since we're talking about the Land of Fiction, now I want to see Titan do that. Bring that into a storyline.
They so could do that.
Yeah, really easy and probably even better.
Maybe next Christmas is
Oh,
special.
yeah.
Titan, if you're listening.
Called it now. What do you guys think of the end of kind of the Celestial Toy Maker's motivations and the resolution?
I like it because in the Celestial Toymaker, the story, which again we'll review eventually, the Celestial Toymaker, the Doctor has to essentially win a game in order to escape from the realm in which the Toymaker lives, and then the Toymaker is one of these Eternals that was out of pre-existing time. And he existed in a realm that he could completely control and manipulate. And fortunately for the Doctor and our companions, he is a man of honor in the sense that if you're able to beat him, then you would be able to be released. What I thought was really cool, though, is in this particular instance, it's the idea that the Celestial Toymaker's world is collapsing.
Yeah.
And he's about to transverse into our reality. And it's almost they set it up as wow, if this omniscient being is able to get into our realm, how scary would that be? What heck could he unleash on our reality? And it's a little worrisome, except for they turn that sort of on its ear, and it's more of a fact that he's worried that he's losing his realm that he does not have that control over. And so the Doctor then in turn helps him by going ahead and losing the game so that he can give him essentially what he wants. And it's kind of a Christmas gift, which I think is kind of a neat little wrap up.
Even wraps up it in a box.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like how it wasn't that they had to stop him to save the universe.
Right.
Yeah. There's a great line from the Celestial Toymaker. I shall be loose in a wild, unforgiving universe. A cosmos with no walls, I can hardly conceive of such an infinite horror. Which is such a great way to describe how he's feeling and helps you understand why he would not want to leave his little toy box.
It's very powerful imagery.
Yeah.
It is, especially the image of the universe here with the Toymaster like huddled down,
Yeah.
Toymaker. I was right the first time. Yeah, Toymaker huddled down with kind of burying his head and afraid. It was quite a powerful image.
And the Doctor's plot of giving him the TARDIS, knowing that that's what he wants, and then jettisoning him so he can float around in space. I think it's a great resolution.
Which I presume I think he even says it's the Zero Room, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah,
wants a
not to make a new Zero
Which,
Room.
he's jettisoned to that a few times.
He's got backup of backups.
Back up.
And I really like how the final panel is the Toymaker's hands with the two toys of him and the first Doctor.
Under the Christmas tree, which
Yeah.
I thought was cool, sitting around the Christmas tree.
Did you happen to notice speaking of cool images, one of the TARDIS kind of assembling itself around them, the crack in the wall,
Oh, there is a crack.
which is how they escape into the control room,
I did not notice the crack.
I didn't either.
is the crack.
Yeah, it is on its side.
yeah.
If you turn your head sideways, that's the edge of the crack there. It's pretty cool. It's a neat little story. I really like it. I even like how when he jettisons it, it still has the imagery of the TARDIS on the outside of the Zero. That was kind of
Yeah. I think they did a really good job with it.
They did.
And I like how they played with the format, too, of the multiple pages. So the 2-page spread is the board game, and the cards, you wind up going sideways, which is kind of a neat way to look at it all.
That ending kind of lifts a page out of Star Trek: The Next Generation with Moriarty.
Oh yeah. It's very
And it
much,
works
yeah.
for of all of the Doctor Who villains that you could pull that with. This one,
Oh,
you
yeah.
know.
Well, and the format suits comic telling very, very well.
Yeah.
Very well. It's just it's made for this medium. Is really what this story is.
Well, because I don't know if you could bring him back on TV. As
It
much
would
as
be
I'd love to see
difficult.
it would be
Yeah.
difficult because it would be regarded as kind of hokey and, by today's audiences, you'd have to find a really interesting and involved way of updating it.
Yeah. I think the other thing that we run into is Michael Gambon has died. Not Michael Gambon.
Michael, go.
Go. Yeah, Michael Go has
yeah,
passed. And so I don't think I'd want to see any
'Cause he's
other
not a Time Lord,
any
he
other
can't
actor
regenerate,
play.
in theory.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, they could cleverly get around that because he is a bit omniscient in his own right. But yeah, I don't think I'd want to see that. In fact, I think another actor has played him in Big Finish, and so in audio, I think that would be it's even hard for me to swallow that in audio.
Yeah.
But
You're already stretching the limits.
exactly,
of-
but you're already stretching limits. But visually, I don't have to see the actor at that point.
They did a good job capturing his image. It looks
They
like
did, yeah.
Michael Gow.
Gow, yeah, same outfit and everything. So.
Yeah.
And eventually, we'll get some of the reconstructions on so that we can see that this does have at least one episode exists. Maybe two, but the rest are in reconstruction form, and the only way that you can see it. But yeah, that was our little special for you. Sean's been really quiet, but
No, I enjoyed it. It's,
Anything you want to gush about specifically?
no, I felt very fan served.
yes,
As a Christmas special
As a
should.
Christmas
Yeah.
special should be. It was just the right amount of sugar and spice and whipped cream, and
everything nice.
I didn't have to eat any Brussels sprouts to get it, so it was the perfect Christmas comic.
Yep.
Very good.
And thank you, Titan, for that.
Yes, thank you very much,
absolutely.
Titan, and for giving us a opportunity to do another Christmas special side trip this year.
Yeah.
All right, well, if that's going to do it for this side trip, I'm Glenn.
I'm Sean.
I'm Keith.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
So here it is, Merry Christmas, everybody.
You have been listening to Traveling the Vortex. Doctor Who and all of its associated programs are owned and trademarked by the BBC. No infringement is intended or implied.